When the Interstellar Council decided to hire a human janitor for their flagship, the USS Constellation, nobody expected that the cleanliness standards on board would become the stuff of legend. The ship, a sprawling vessel with corridors that stretched like the arms of a galaxy, had seen its fair share of species and spills. Yet it was about to encounter its first human, Jack Sullivan, a man whose obsession with cleanliness was about to become an intergalactic sensation. Jack had been out of work for nearly 6 months when he stumbled upon the job posting titled Janitorial Specialist for Interstellar Operations. It promised travel to stars he had only seen in his telescope and a steady paycheck. To Jack, who had spent the last 2 decades mastering the art of sanitation in the bustling hospitals of Earth, it sounded like a dream. He applied immediately, dusting off his resume and highlighting his recent certification in biohazard cleanup and zero-gravity waste management. Upon receiving his acceptance message, Jack's excitement was palpable. He arrived at the docking bay of the USS Constellation, his duffel bag filled with his favorite non-toxic cleaning supplies and a framed photo of his late wife, Martha, who had always encouraged his meticulous habits. As he boarded the ship, the alien crew watched in bemusement, unaccustomed to the humans' wide-eyed wonder. The ship's captain, a tall, four-armed Glura named Threx, greeted Jack with a translator device that chirped and buzzed as it converted his words. "Welcome aboard, Mr. Sullivan. We hope you find your stay productive. The crew's quarters are this way. Please follow me." Jack nodded enthusiastically, taking in the alien technology and sleek design of the ship's interior. The walls were adorned with luminous panels and strange, abstract art, a stark contrast to the sterile environments he was used to. His first assignment was the dining hall, a room so large it could host 3 different species delegations at once. Threx pointed to a corner where a recent celebration had left its mark. "We had a bit of an incident with a Blorpy feast. They're messy eaters," he explained. With a grin, Jack rolled up his sleeves and unpacked his supplies. Within hours, he transformed the dining hall. Surfaces gleamed, and even the air felt fresher. The crew members, unaccustomed to such radiance, wandered in and out, bumping into freshly polished tables and sparkling chairs, their eyes wide with astonishment. Word of Jack's prowess spread like wildfire. Each deck he cleaned was left in a state of pristine order, causing both amazement and a fair bit of confusion among the crew. Instruments were so polished, some scientists complained they were too reflective to read properly. Navigational charts were organized by a color system Jack invented, causing a brief but hilarious incident where the pilot couldn't find the Andromeda system because he didn't realize it was filed under A for Aqua instead of A for Andromeda. Meanwhile, Jack, blissfully unaware of the chaos his cleaning caused, continued with his mission. His next big challenge was the engine room, a place so grimy and tangled, the chief engineer, a Cygnian named Ralto, had expressly forbidden any cleaning for fear it would disrupt the delicate balance of grease and grime that apparently kept everything running smoothly. But one night, driven by a blend of curiosity and an unstoppable desire for cleanliness, Jack snuck into the engine room while Ralto was asleep. Armed with his most potent biodegradable degreasers and a high-powered scrubber, he set to work. The next morning, the engine room shone like a new star in the fleet, but the engines themselves hummed at an eerie, unfamiliar pitch. Ralto stormed into the breakfast hall, his feathers ruffled in distress. "Who cleaned the engine room?" As the days passed on the USS Constellation, Jack's reputation as a superlative janitor began to eclipse even the most seasoned crew members' achievements. His dedication to cleanliness was reshaping daily life on board, and with each new area he tackled, a new set of challenges and unintended consequences emerged. In the biology lab, a verdant space brimming with exotic plants from across the galaxy, Jack's introduction of a new eco-friendly fertilizer seemed at first like a boon. The plants flourished, growing with such vigor that they soon threatened to overrun their containers. Dr. Fila, the ship's chief botanist, marveled at the growth, but soon found herself fighting through a jungle just to access her instruments. The lush foliage was not only a visual obstruction, but it started to interfere with the delicate environmental controls of the lab. "Jack, while I appreciate the zeal, maybe we could tone down the fecundity a bit?" Dr. Fila suggested during one of their weekly meetings. Jack nodded, taking note to adjust the fertilizer mixture to a less potent formula. However, his mind was already racing with ideas to optimize space in the overcrowded lab. Meanwhile, in the recreational deck, the athletes and warriors of various species found their equipment too slippery to handle after Jack's rigorous cleaning routines. The grip tape on training weapons and gym equipment was so pristine that it lacked the necessary traction for effective use. After several minor accidents and a particularly embarrassing incident involving a Togorian wrestler and a resistance band, the recreational officer, a burly Vrax named Gorthal, cornered Jack. "Look, human, we need some grime, some grit. It's essential for our training," Gorthal grumbled, showing Jack his hands, now smooth from too much cleaning. Jack, ever the problem solver, proposed a solution. "What if I develop a special coating for the equipment, something that improves grip but stays clean?" Gorthal nodded, intrigued by the idea. Jack spent the next few nights experimenting with various substances until he concocted a synthetic resin that mimicked the feel of natural wear and tear while maintaining hygienic standards. But the greatest test of Jack's new regime came unexpectedly when the ship encountered a minor asteroid field. The normally robust outer hull sensors, now devoid of any cosmic dust or usual space residue thanks to Jack's thorough exterior scrubbings, failed to detect the smaller, cleaner rocks that blended in with the vastness of space. The ship shuddered as several small asteroids pelted the hull. Alarms blared, and the crew rushed to their stations. Captain Threx, maintaining his composure, directed the crew to manual navigation while the engineers hastily recalibrated the sensors. After the crisis was averted, Threx convened a meeting with Jack and the senior staff. The room was tense, the air thick with unspoken blame. "Jack, your cleaning is exceptional. However, we've noticed a pattern of disruptions, for lack of a better word," Threx began diplomatically. "The ship functions not just as a habitat, but as a piece of a larger ecosystem. Each speck of dust, each layer of grime has its place in the balance of our operations." Jack listened intently, his brow furrowed in thought. It was a perspective he hadn't considered. His human zeal for cleanliness clashed with the practical realities of space travel. He realized that his approach needed adjustment, not less effort, but a more nuanced understanding of the environment he was in. "I appreciate the feedback, Captain," Jack responded sincerely. "Let's work together to find a balance that maintains both cleanliness and functionality." Over the next few weeks on the USS Constellation, the balance between cleanliness and operational necessity became a daily topic of discussion, thanks largely to Jack's ongoing efforts to integrate himself into the fabric of the ship. His latest challenge was the communication deck, where the sensitive equipment required a delicate touch, and the alien crew was particularly skeptical of any changes to their established system. The communications officer, a wiry, antennae-twitching Zeltron named Physiak, watched Jack like a hawk as he approached the consoles with his cleaning supplies. "Remember, human, every speck of dust might be inconsequential to you, but to us, it's part of the calibration. It affects the transmission clarity across hyperspace frequencies," Physiak warned, his voice tinged with the static of concern. Jack nodded, taking a more restrained approach. He used minimal liquid cleaners and focused on using microfiber cloths that could pick up dust without leaving residues. As he worked, he listened intently to Physiak's explanations of the equipment's nuances, gaining insights into the operational principles of alien technology. Through this collaboration, Jack not only cleaned, but learned to enhance the functionality by subtly rearranging components for easier access during maintenance, all without disrupting their delicate settings. This attention to detail did not go unnoticed. The engineers started inviting Jack to their strategy meetings, valuing his input on maintaining the efficiency of their systems while keeping them spotless. Jack's integration into the crew shifted from being merely the janitor to becoming an essential part of the operations team. On the other side of the ship, in the medical bay, Dr. Lenora, a human xenobiologist, struggled with a mysterious virus affecting the crew members from the planet Delvoria. The symptoms were mild but peculiar, causing a bioluminescent rash that glowed faintly in the ship's corridors. Concerned about contamination, She requested Jack's assistance to sterilize the medical bay more thoroughly than ever. Jack, applying his newly honed skills of balance and precision, tackled the task with a vigor informed by his understanding of alien biologies. He introduced a new cleaning agent that he had synthesized with Dr. Lenora's guidance, designed to kill 99.9% of known pathogens without harming the delicate bio-augmented systems of the ship. As Jack worked through the night, meticulously cleaning every surface and sterilizing the air filtration systems, Dr. Lenora conducted her research with samples taken from the affected crew. By morning, the spread of the virus had halted, and those affected began to show signs of recovery. The success in the medical bay was a turning point for Jack's reputation. He was no longer seen just as a cleaner, but as a guardian of their health and safety. His role expanded, and he began to conduct regular seminars on sanitation and contamination prevention for new crew members. Meanwhile, the Constellation approached a bustling spaceport, a nexus for trade, information, and culture between the galaxies. Captain Threx decided to showcase the ship's unparalleled cleanliness and efficiency as a model of human contribution to interstellar operations. As the ship docked, visitors from various species boarded, marveling at the pristine conditions. Diplomats and traders alike were impressed, sparking discussions about adopting some of Jack's methodologies on their vessels. Jack found himself a reluctant celebrity, his methods discussed in scholarly articles and even featured in the trade station's broadcasts. Yet, amidst the accolades, Jack remained focused on his original mission, to keep the USS Constellation not just clean, but a harmoniously functioning microcosm of the universe. His dedication continued to shape life on the ship, proving that even the most mundane tasks, when approached with care and respect, could have far-reaching implications in the cosmos. As the USS Constellation resumed its voyage through the cosmos, the effects of Jack's systems began permeating deeper into the life of the ship. The once skeptical crew had now fully embraced his protocols, finding that his methods not only maintained cleanliness, but also enhanced their efficiency and well-being. The engineering team, inspired by Jack's meticulous approach, started to implement a new organizational system for their tools and spare parts. This initiative, spearheaded by the chief engineer Ralto, who had once railed against Jack's cleaning of the engine room, aimed to reduce the time spent on repairs and maintenance. Ralto, having witnessed the benefits of Jack's methods firsthand, became an enthusiastic proponent, often collaborating with Jack to refine the system further. On the navigation deck, the adjustments made by Jack had inadvertently improved sensory accuracy. The navigation team, led by the astute and reserved navigator Still, discovered that cleaner interfaces and less cluttered workspaces reduced human error and increased the efficiency of plotting courses through difficult star clusters. Sethil, once reserved and slightly distant from human methodologies, now regularly consulted with Jack on optimizing the layout of the navigation consoles. Amid these successes, a new challenge arose during a routine pass through a less charted sector of the galaxy. A strange, sticky substance of unknown origin began appearing throughout the ship's ventilation system, causing filters to clog and air quality to drop. This posed a serious threat to the health of the crew, particularly the Zetharians, who required highly purified air to maintain their respiratory functions. Jack, equipped with his ever-expanding knowledge of the ship's systems and a keen problem-solving mind, took it upon himself to trace the source of the contamination. He conducted thorough inspections along with the ship's environmental specialists, crawling through narrow maintenance ducts and analyzing samples of the substance. His determination led to the discovery that the sticky material was a byproduct of a new type of engine coolant recently introduced into the ship. Working with the engineering team, Jack developed a filtration add-on that could separate the coolant byproduct from the circulating air without needing to replace the newly introduced coolant system entirely. His innovative approach not only resolved the immediate crisis, but also improved the overall efficiency of the air recycling systems. The solution was so effective that it caught the attention of other ships and stations. Captain Threx, seeing an opportunity to further highlight human ingenuity and the adaptability of his crew, organized a symposium aboard the Constellation. Here, Jack was invited to present his findings and the solutions he implemented. The symposium was attended by engineers, scientists, and leaders from various sectors of space. Jack, modest yet clear in his presentation, detailed the process of identifying the problem, devising a solution, and the benefits of continuous monitoring and adaptation of ship systems. His presentation was met with enthusiastic applause and numerous inquiries about potential applications in other ships and structures. As the symposium concluded, Jack returned to his daily routine, enriched by the experience but unswayed by the acclaim. His focus remained on the constellation and its crew, ensuring their environment was safe, efficient, and pristine. Through Jack's innovations, the ship had not only become a beacon of cleanliness, but also a testament to the synergy between diverse species and human ingenuity. His impact extended beyond the physical cleaning and into the very ethos of how space travel could be managed, proving that sometimes the smallest changes in approach could yield the most significant benefits in the vast arena of space. The influence of Jack's methodologies continued to ripple throughout the USS Constellation, embedding themselves into the very culture of the ship. As Jack's system of cleanliness and order became a standard, it also sparked a wider conversation about resource efficiency and sustainability, critical topics for long-term space missions. In the hydroponics garden, where the crew cultivated much of their food, the lead agronomist, an effusive Thelonian named Saran, noticed that Jack's adjustments in the use of water and nutrients had not only boosted plant growth, but also reduced waste significantly. Encouraged by these results, Karan proposed an ambitious project to redesign the garden systems based on Jack's principles, aiming to maximize yield while minimizing resource use. Together, Jack and Karan worked on integrating a new recycling system that captured condensation from the air and reused it for irrigation. They also introduced soil amendments derived from organic waste composted on the ship, turning every scrap of biodegradable material into something beneficial for the garden. The initiative was so successful that it not only improved the garden's productivity, but also served as a model for closed-loop ecosystems, drawing interest from ecological engineers across the fleet. Elsewhere, the ship's security team found that their efficiency increased as a result of the new organizational methods. The chief of security, a stern and meticulous Valkyrie named T-Shen, had initially been skeptical of Jack's influence, but soon found that the clearer corridors and better organized storage for equipment reduced response times during drills and actual alerts. T-Shen, in a rare moment of openness, personally thanked Jack, acknowledging how his work had indirectly bolstered the ship's safety protocols. Amid these successes, an unexpected test emerged during a diplomatic mission. The Constellation was tasked with hosting negotiations between two species from a contentious sector of space. The diplomats, accustomed to environments tailored to their specific needs, presented a unique challenge given their conflicting atmospheric and dietary preferences. Jack was pivotal in preparing the ship for this delicate mission. He coordinated with the environmental systems engineers to create partitioned meeting areas with customizable atmospheres that could shift in real time to suit the breathing requirements of each delegate. Furthermore, he supervised the preparation of the dining areas to ensure that cross-contamination of food supplies was prevented, a critical factor given the severe allergic reactions of some delegates. The negotiations were a resounding success, with delegates praising the Constellation's accommodations and the seamless environment which, according to them, fostered a spirit of cooperation and understanding. The ship's role in these peace talks became a celebrated example of how thoughtful design and meticulous maintenance could contribute to diplomatic efforts. Encouraged by the positive feedback, Captain Threx initiated a Clean Star initiative, inspired by Jack's work, aiming to promote sustainability and efficiency across other ships and stations. Jack was appointed as a lead consultant, tasked with visiting other vessels to help implement his systems and train other crews in his methods. As Jack prepared for this new role, he took a moment to reflect on his journey. What had started as a simple job had grown into something much more significant, not just keeping a ship clean, but making it a better place for everyone aboard. His connection with the crew had deepened, each project and challenge bringing them closer together, turning them into not just co-workers, but a family navigating the stars together. Jack's simple philosophy of cleanliness had transformed the constellation into a beacon of innovation and cooperation, proving that even the most ordinary tasks, when approached with passion and thoughtfulness, could have extraordinary impacts. As Jack's influence expanded beyond the USS Constellation, his concepts and methodologies were implemented across a broad spectrum of interstellar travel and habitat systems. The Clean Star Initiative had grown, under his guidance, into a comprehensive program that was not only about maintaining cleanliness, but also about enhancing operational efficiency and environmental sustainability. Back on the Constellation, the ship itself had become a living laboratory and a showcase of best practices in space habitation. It was now a frequent stop for delegates, scientists, and engineers eager to learn from Jack's expertise. During one of these visits, a delegation from a newly allied planet expressed interest in adapting Jack's systems for their own space fleet, emphasizing the potential for these practices to improve the life support systems of their aging vessels. In preparation for a summit on their homeworld, Jack worked closely with the delegation to tailor his methods to their specific technological and cultural contexts. This collaboration not only highlighted the versatility of his approach, but also deepened the diplomatic bonds between the species. Meanwhile, on the Constellation, life continued to evolve under the new norms Jack had established. The crew, now fully accustomed to and appreciative of the pristine environment, had found that a clean ship contributed to a clear mind. They were more productive, happier, and healthier. Medical reports indicated a decrease in common ailments, often attributed to the improved air quality and reduced contaminants. Amidst these successes, Jack faced a personal milestone. It was the anniversary of his arrival on the Constellation, and the crew had organized a surprise celebration in the ship's main hall, now named Sullivan Space, in his honor. As he walked into the room, the lights dimmed and the crew, composed of various species and ranks, erupted into applause. Displays around the room showcased before and after images of the areas Jack had transformed, alongside testimonials from crew members about the impact of his work. Captain Threx stepped forward with a smile. "Jack Sullivan, you joined us as a janitor, but you've become much more than that. You are a pioneer, an innovator, and a cherished member of our crew. Your dedication to excellence has not only transformed this ship, but has set a new standard across the stars. Today, we celebrate not just your work, but your spirit." Moved by the outpouring of appreciation, Jack took a moment to collect his thoughts before speaking. "When I first boarded the Constellation, I was just looking for a fresh start, a new chapter in my life. I never imagined that my love for cleaning would lead to such an incredible journey. This ship and its crew, you've become my family, and this space, our home. Thank you for embracing my ideas and for pushing me to be better every day." The celebration continued with laughter, music, and a feast featuring dishes from across the galaxy, each prepared in a kitchen meticulously maintained under Jack's guidance. As the party wound down, Jack stood at a viewport, looking out at the stars. The Constellation was gliding through space, its hull gleaming, a testament to the journey they had all taken together. Jack felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He had started this job with a simple goal, to clean and organize, but he had achieved something far greater, a transformation that extended beyond the physical spaces of the ship to touch the lives of its crew and the broader community of the galaxy. Jack knew his work was far from done. New challenges and opportunities would always be on the horizon. But as he watched the stars streak past, he felt ready for whatever came next, secure in the knowledge that even the smallest acts, performed with care and dedication, could change the world, or in his case, the universe.